We're going to now bring on our Australian guest. Hopefully everything is we can hear and see. Hello, hello.
Oh, hello. Hi.
Oh my God, I'm so excited. I never get excited about anything, I have to tell you, because we do this for a living and we interview people all the time. But literally, you and Molly Ringwald are like my two favorite actresses.
Stop. Oh, that's so exciting for me. Thank you so much for having me on.
I'm very excited. So this is my cool, outrageous man about town co-host, Ron Russell, who's also my husband, in case since you're in Australia and you don't know who we are.
And I'm also dying with the flu, so forgive me if I'm not myself.
And this is our dog, Astro.
Oh, hello. How cute. I just made my dogs get out.
Yeah, ours is part of it. He'll bark and do whatever, but we don't
Jimmy
worry
was
about
so
it.
excited that you were coming on. He was like a kid. He said, "Oh, I love her. She's my favorite actress. I can't wait. I can't wait." I said, "Jimmy,
We've had Academy Award winners, we've had Emmy winners, we have everybody,
excited.
but you are the one that really gets it going. I was so excited when I found you.
I was best friends with Jane Russell. You know who Jane Russell is, right?
Jane Russell?
Yeah, from like the Marilyn Monroe days. He's 84.
Okay.
And,
I'm Australian.
and I was friends with Betty Davis. You know who she is?
Yes, of
Oh,
course.
you do? Okay. So I never got excited. Now I'm at a thing in New York, a TV premiere thing, and who do I meet but Sister Sledge?
You
And
do?
I'm screaming and jumping up and down, yelling to Jimmy, "Jimmy, get over here with the camera! Look, I'm all excited over Sister Sledge." I love her.
We all have our things, and he's worked with Elizabeth Taylor. He's done all kinds of things,
Right.
but we all have our thing, and so I'm super excited to have you on. We have a chat room with a bunch of people. Say hi to everybody in the chat room.
Hi from Australia.
Yeah, I love it. We've actually had we had somebody from the Lord of the Rings a long time. We've been on the air for 17 years.
Wow.
But I forgot who. But the one Australian that I remember because he was so much fun is we had Guy Sebastian on, and you'll know who that is.
Hi, Sebastian.
Yes, so he's like really cool, and since you're a judge on reality shows also, like he is now, I figured you would know who he is. So it's a lot of fun.
Actually, we go back a long way, and we share a mutual friend who's a fashion designer, and I met him at one of her parades, and this was long before Step Up 3D, long before I was on even Home and Away, which is an Australian series here, and he asked me to be a featured dancer in his second ever video clip. So I'm actually in one of his video clips early on back in the day, and that's kind of, it was one of my first ever gigs.
Okay, so here's how much of a fan I have been. I'm really geeking out a little bit, but I even had your single Roses.
Oh my God.
You were in a girl group. You only released one song. At least that's all I ever could buy anywhere. It was called Foxfire 4. And I was. Are you in the picture? Are you the one that you have to be the one that has the bandana on, right? Because you can't be the other ones. Right. They don't look like you. So I even have the song. I had it. I don't have it anymore, and you can't buy it anymore. I went looking for it yesterday just to see if we could have it again, but we have a little bit of degrees of separation because I love the Step Up movies. I'm really a horror fan. That's my big thing. But dance movies I like. We have a friend, Michael Damian, who did a movie called High Strung, which is a really popular, dance movie. And then Center Stage and the Step Up movies are my favorite. And we had Rachel Brooks Smith on, who's the star of the second Center Stage film. But in the first Step Up movie, there's a boy band that I used to be a clothing designer, and they performed at my opening, and they had one of the hit songs on the first Step Up soundtrack. And then you're in Step Up 3, and now I'm an extra in Step Up Revolution that they shot in Miami.
No way. Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, there's some great music in all of the soundtracks. I think that's one of the best things about the films are the selection of music is just phenomenal.
Oh, no, they're fabulous. And really, what made me think about you to come on the show is I watched Bait again.
Okay.
So it is a horror movie about a tsunami that takes over and floods this grocery store, and all the sharks come in, and she's in it and eat everybody. And she's in it with some really big people.
I love that movie.
Alex Russell, you guys, is in it, and he's in that show, a really popular TV show here. Now I forgot the name of it because Julie McMahon is in it.
And you were very good in that movie, by the way.
Oh, thank you so much.
Difficult to work in water. Very difficult to work in water. I remember her. Who was the one that was trying to get out the big alligator?
No. Hers is sharks.
Sharks.
It's a different
Oh,
one.
not in Florida. Who's the
No.
one with the
Animatronic
I don't
alligator?
know.
sharks. Not real.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, I know. But it was fun, and it had a lot of people in it. Julian McMahon is in it. I mean, it has a lot of stars in it.
Yeah,
So how
Xavier
did?
Samuel.
Yes, Xavier Samuel, Martin Sachs. I wrote down. But you've
People.
done a whole lot of cool things. So what are you doing a lot of now? I saw in Australia you're on Survivor, which I know that's really big. Was big here. You were on Survivor. Like, how did you do?
It was crazy. It's always been this dream of mine when I was a kid after watching Brooke Shields in Blue Lagoon that I just wanted to be dropped off on a deserted island and left for dead. It's the weirdest dream to have as a child. Like, I didn't ever dream about my wedding and all this stuff. I was like, just drop me off on an island and leave me there. And I think Survivor was the closest experience that I could get to that. And it is pretty much exactly that. Like, you're just left on this island. I wasn't by myself though. There was obviously a group of people around me, but it was a crazy experience. Like, the challenges alone are they're really difficult. You're going through so much with the weather and like the living conditions and having to sleep outside with the giant crabs and mosquitoes and the rain. There's so much to contend
We're
with.
gay. We don't do that. We're gay. We can't do that
Even
stuff.
if I was straight, I wouldn't.
So is it like Celebrity Survivor?
I know her face.
She's been in a million things.
I've seen her. I like her too.
She's been in a million
I've
things.
seen you. I like your work. I'm trying to think of all the movies I've seen you in. But I used to. She's not the one on the rock.
On the rock.
With the shark.
Oh, no.
She looks like her. Another blonde.
No. Anyway, hold on. Let's go back. So is it like Celebrity Survivor, or what is it? Is it, or you just got picked to be on it with a bunch of other people?
The season I was on was a mixture of celebrities and returning players, and it was called Heroes versus Villains. So there were people put on the Heroes tribe for whatever reason. We had AFL stars, and there were people on the Villain tribe that had been sort of, more known for doing villainous things and careers. So I was on the Heroes tribe representing, the actress. And it's also funny because I am currently on a Netflix series called The Guardians of Justice, which is a superhero, half animated series, half live action. And I play the Speed, which is ultimately a female version of the Flash. So I play a superhero. So I think a lot of that came into why I was put on the Heroes tribe.
Actually, I have that. I wrote that down because actually Diamond Dallas Page has been on our show. Denise Richards is in it. Jackson Rathbone, Zachary Ty Bryan, Derek Mears has been on our show. Kellen Lutz, Edie Gathegi, Max Adler's been on our show. So a lot of people have been on our show. Yes. So I thought it was an animated thing though. Is it animated and live action both?
Yeah, no, it's both. It's both. Yeah,
it's like
50-50. It's not even 50-50. It's probably more like 60% live action, maybe 40% animated.
So you're a superhero.
Yeah,
a real superhero, the female Flash, which I think it's really cool. I love that.
Do you fly? That. Do you fly?
No, the Flash.
Yeah, actually, I
fly.
I was doing a lot of stunt training prior to the role and doing a lot of wire work training in LA. So I lived in LA for 12 years. I was just hooked up to the wires and sort of thrown against the walls and flung across the room and backflips all over the place. And I just absolutely love that stuff. Like anything.
That was fun.
Anything high action and crazy and a bit adrenaline junkie, like that's me. Yeah.
No, I would like that if I were younger, definitely.
Oh, I think definitely. Do you come back? Do you come back? Like obviously you had to come back to shoot that.
Yeah, no, all the time. I'm a dual citizen, so I, have my American citizenship and Australian citizenship. So I'm back all the time. I was there permanently for 12 years. I came back to Australia right before COVID, actually, and it was just very lucky that was the timing. And then, with the government lockdowns, no one was allowed to leave the country for a couple of years.
Horrible time.
Horrible. And so that kind of just, rebranded me back in Australia until I flew to Cannes for the Cannes TV series festival, where we premiered Guardians of Justice, which was the first time they'd opened up the borders and allowed people to actually leave the country. So that was just very lucky that I even got to go.
Is it still on Netflix now?
Yeah, it is.
Okay, I have to go. I have to watch that one then, because I have not seen that. Some of the other
everyone in it too. So
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we do know everybody in it. I didn't until I made notes yesterday of other things that you've been in. I didn't know, because basically, like, I'm a huge Step Up fan. I'm a huge horror fan, and Your Next was like the biggest movie of the year. You know, when you actually did it. And actually, yeah, Rolling Stone named it one of the best horror movies of 2013. And we're friends with Barbara Crampton, so she's been on the show. AJ Bowen's in it, Amy Smits, Nicholas Tucci, Ty West. So let's talk a little bit about that, because I don't know if you're considered a final girl because of that, because you lived at the end, because you're not really a scream queen. You didn't scream at all. You just fucking kicked the shit out of everybody.
That's the funniest part about it. The Scream Queen title, I have to laugh at, because I never scream, and it's almost like a contractual obligation that I don't scream, because the second I scream, I lose my voice. So there's one scream that I do in Your Next, and it's a scream double. It's not even me. So I can't scream. I physically cannot. And when I, was sort of really delving into this character of Erin in Your Next, I actually didn't feel like she would scream. She was too trained. Screaming is for amateurs. You know what I mean? And she came from a survival.
Very boring screaming. It's, to me, in a film, when they start screaming, there's no script. The guy ran out of script, so make a scream. I don't appreciate it in a movie.
No, I don't like it either. I just don't think it's necessary. You know, if you're trying to hide from masked killers that are intruding in your house, I don't think screaming's the way to go. But she also, she's trained. She's a trained survivalist. And in doing all that training, I figured you're not gonna scream. That's the last thing that you would do. So they had to put one in there, and I was like, I'm not doing it. So they had someone else.
The reason the actresses scream, you know why? Because they don't know how to act frightened.
So that's the go-to.
That's right. It's easier to than to.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
no,
they don't know how to act frightened.
I feel like eyes. There was a lot of script. Simon Barrett, who wrote Your Next, is an incredible writer, and Adam Wingard, who directed the film, is amazing at working with people to really bring out the best in the role. And I had, really worked with Simon on the script, because originally the character was written as American military background. And so when I booked the role, they wanted it to be more Australian survivalist, which was cool. So we really kind of worked with each other on that one. And I said to him, a lot of, film scripts that I've read personally are overwritten, and they don't need to have that much dialogue. They just, you can pull back a lot of the dialogue and deliver the emotion just internally and through your eyes. I was like, let's just cut a lot of it down and just physically do it and show everyone and let them, decide. Audiences aren't stupid, especially the horror community. So they know what emotion you're meant to be feeling without having to say it, So yeah, it was really fun to work with them. We really blended, everyone's styles blended very well. And
nobody expected, though. It was a very different kind, because a lot of everybody gets killed. Movies don't have an actual really good story like this. It has so many twists in the story. You don't know that the brother's actually doing it.
I remember her now in the grocery store. Oh yes, I remember that movie. I love that movie.
Bait. It's called Bait, everybody.
Yes, I remember it.
It's on Amazon.
You were trapped inside the store. What's his name?
With a whole bunch of people.
With our friend, the actor.
No, we don't know anybody in there.
I know him. I know the guy she was trapped in the store.
No, we met Julian McMahon once, but we don't really know him.
No. Don't say. I know a lot of people. Listen, I was born way before you.
Anyway, so then you have so Your Next, though, that kind of catapulted you, right? Because it was a different audience than the Step Up movie.
That was a good movie.
Because I'm sure because I went on TikTok to see if you were on TikTok, and you're not on there, but there's a million videos of you on there.
On there. I've never been on there.
At conventions and stuff where people have put up where you've said things for them at conventions, and you're always very gracious with everybody.
I love conventions. I love meeting the fans. It's one of my favorite things to do.
Who's your convention rep? Do you have
Sean,
one? Yes. Okay. Yes. I've known him for 20 years.
yeah,
Very good. No, he's a really cool guy.
yep.
Convention All Stars.
That's awesome.
I love it. Okay, so you did that one, and then you switched to Patrick, which Charles Dance is also one of my favorite actors.
He's
Who's a
good.
great actor, and it was. I didn't know that Patrick was a remake, though.
Yeah,
I
it's a
think it was
remake.
from before that. I've seen yours, but I've never seen the remake. But it says that you got a Best Actress nomination at the AFCA Awards. What is that? Is that like you guys' like what kind of awards is that?
That's pretty significant for us. I mean, Australia's a lot smaller than America, so we don't have too many of the awards. But that was a really big thing for me because I believe in the same category was some of our biggest names in
Yeah,
the
Nicole
business.
Kidman and Naomi Watts were in the category against you. Like a
Yeah.
big. Is that kind of like you guys' version of like an Academy Award?
Yeah, I would say so. Like I mean, it's as close as we can get because we just don't have that much. And when you're looking at people like Nicole Kidman in the category, it's like these are our biggest stars, So I was just like
They're our
baffled.
biggest too. They're our biggest too, so it's funny. But I think that the Patrick is it was Patrick Evil Awakens, you guys. It's a really good, really good movie. I actually own it back in the day when it came out. I had the DVD. I don't even have a DVD player anymore.
So
No, they're gone.
Yeah, they're gone.
what's your current movie you want to talk about?
She doesn't have one, I don't think. What do you have? Do you have a
No
current?
current movies out at the moment. I mean, it took us 7 years, you guys, to make the Guardians of Justice. It was a long, drawn-out process, and we went through so many ups and downs. It wasn't originally supposed to be a full series. It was just meant to be, friends getting together to put something up on YouTube, and it was with Adi Shankar, who's the Bootleg Universe, and it just took on a world of its own once we started to film it. We were like, this is really special. This has got a lot more, I think, going for it. So we turned the script from 25 pages to 260 pages.
Oh,
And rewrote basically everything. And then got hit with a ton of, different things that we had to go through, some good, some bad. And then we got hit with COVID in the middle of shooting as well. So we had a lot to contend with, and then it takes years to get the animation together in the way that we use 7 different types of animation in the show. So we had animators from all across the world coming together, amazing composers, just from every country, I think, in the world. We've utilized people for this, and it just took so long to get off the ground that when it finally was released on Netflix, it was like, we got there. And when Cannes took it as one of the 10 TV series to premiere in 2022, it was just like unbelievable because this show is so left of field for that type of festival. It was like, how on earth, at the premiere, it was just like, what are we watching? Like, it so didn't fit the typical mold of what they selected for that festival. So it was just really an honor to be there with these people. And
can we watch it now? Can we watch it now?
Yeah, it's on.
yeah, you can watch it now. It's on there right now
It's on Netflix
on Netflix. Yep.
I can't wait to see it.
tonight. Jimmy and I watch a movie every night. No, we watch a movie every night with dinner. So
Well, you can get through this in about the time you'd get through a movie because they're short episodes. There's only 7 episodes.
we do that. We binge.
30
We binge
minutes.
all the time.
You'll
I
get
like
through
it.
in 3 hours.
No, we'll watch it tonight.
So I have another question for you. So you're a judge on Dance Boss with Danny Minogue, which he won't know who that is, but
Who?
Danny Minogue, you guys, huge pop star. Her sister's Kylie Minogue, which you would know Kylie Minogue. Anyway, she's huge. But then you're a judge with Adam Garcia, and Danny Minogue hosted it. I love Adam Garcia.
Adam Garcia is wonderful. Yeah, I was a fan of Adam when I watched Coyote Ugly. He's so good. He's so good. He's a brilliant tap dancer, and he's a brilliant dancer. And because dance was the world I came through, I remember him very well from tap dogs and all sorts of amazing shows that he's done, and going backstage and meeting him actually when I was very young and thinking, oh God, he's just amazing. So, and Danny Minogue, I grew up idolizing as well. So it was just bizarre to be on stage with these people that as a child you really looked up to. And then now you're kind of working together, and
I'm glad to hear he's like a nice guy though. He did a movie called the First Million or something. I don't know, where they make this weird product and it's like him and Jake Busey and all these people. It's a really good. Probably nobody saw it but me, but it's a really good movie that everybody should see. And everybody knows he's the love interest in Coyote Ugly, which was like a great film,
yes.
which I absolutely loved also. Okay, so you've done all the. Oh wait, you also did a movie called Dragon Blade with Jackie Chan, John Cusack, Ned Bellamy, and Adrian Brody. That's a big cast too.
That was a big cast. That was a very that was a surreal experience, to be honest. Like, I just got a phone call from Jackie's producer, and she basically had just directly asked me if I would be interested in joining the cast of his new film. And I mean, who says no to Jackie Chan?
Nobody.
Nobody. So I was like, when do I start? You know, so they flew me to China, and we filmed in Guangzhou, Beijing. And then when the premiere came around, that was just a bizarre experience, because the circuit was myself, Adrian Brody, John Cusack, and Jackie Chan. And I just remember arriving at Beijing airport, and Jackie had organized a private jet for every one of us. It wasn't like we all got in the same one. There was one each on the runway. And then we flew to 3 different cities in China to premiere the movie. And as we landed, he had like a Rolls Royce waiting for everyone. So we got out of this jet into this beautiful car. And I'm just like, who do I think I am right now? Like, this is like this. This is just not normal. Like, I cannot comprehend what world I'm living in. This is just the, top of the top. And again, Jackie's just such an inspiration to everyone. Like, so much of the money that he makes, he puts straight back into his charities. And he's just such a lovely guy. And it was just such an honor to be asked to work with him. And I'd love to do it again.
I love it. So do you like horror movies? Like, would you?
I was obsessed with horror movies as a child. I was that child from the age of about 5, as young as I can remember, back when they had video stores.
Yes.
And you could actually walk in and pick a video off the shelf. I would go in and run straight to the horror section every time. There's no movie I ever wanted other than what was in the horror section. And I literally grew up with the Nightmare on Elm Street series, Stephen King, It's movies, Pet Sematary, like Jaws. These were my just go-to obsessed horror films. And I would just watch them on repeat. And I just love the feeling that horror gives an audience, that feeling of wanting to be scared out of your wits. It's so inhumane. I don't understand why we do it to ourselves, but I just loved it. And you're either a huge fan of horror or you hate it. And I just don't feel like there's anything in between. A lot of my friends hate horror movies. They will not watch a horror movie. They're like, when are you going to do another Disney movie? Because we can't show
He's in a bunch of horror movies, but he hates them. I love them. I'm producing a couple. I have 3 of them right now that I'm just got funding for that I'm working on. And
my reaction when I see myself in a horror movie is, you got to be kidding.
So what were some of your favorite ones though? Like because I'm friends with Doug Bradley and all the Hellraiser people. I liked Hellraiser a lot. I like this, the Saw, but my favorite movie of all time is like The Lost Boys. Is my favorite.
Oh, Lost Boys is fantastic. Yeah, absolutely brilliant. Great film. I love the Saw franchise as well. The Final Destination series is a great concept. I love the idea of escaping death and having death come for you no matter what. And your time's up when it's up kind of thing. Like, I thought the concept was fantastic.
We had Devon Sawa on the show.
Amazing, yeah.
Final Destination. Devon Sawa. He was the star of one of them, or maybe several of them. And they're remaking Idle Hands. I just saw, and he was like the star of that too. I think back in the day. So what about what were some of the ones when you were really, because at 5 years old, you're not watching like Saw. Well, Saw wouldn't have been there, but you're not watching like Freddy Krueger at 5.
I'm watching Freddy Krueger on at 5 and just obsessed with it. And it's weird too because I never had nightmares. Like I wasn't, I think if I had nightmares, I wouldn't have been so drawn to the genre. But I just loved the feeling of, and I would sneak out of the house, not out of the house, but out of my room. In the middle of the night, and I just would play this game with myself where it was like, you've got to go to the fridge for a midnight snack, but you can't let anyone hear you because there could be someone waiting in the cupboard ready to kill you. And, so I would like sneak out and try to be as quiet as possible. And just like the game I'd play with myself of opening the fridge and trying to like unravel the chips without making a noise. Because if you make a noise, he's going to come after you and he's going to kill you.
He's going to get you.
When we lived in Pennsylvania, we had Lisa Wilcox on. I don't know if you know who Lisa Wilcox is, but Lisa Wilcox is a big horror movie lady, and so we were talking about Freddy Krueger, and Ron was like, as long as you're not the girl who he comes up through the bed and grabs her and takes her into the bed and chops her all up, and she's like, yeah, because he doesn't research anybody.
No, that's
and they were like, yeah, that's it.
I said, is she the girl in the bed with the knife? The knife comes through the mattress.
Yes, I remember that scene.
She said that was me. She said that.
Yeah, that's Lisa Wilcox.
She said that.
The waterbed. Remember the old school waterbed?
Yes.
It was right, and he came through. He poked through the water, and then sort of did he not drown?
No,
her?
I think that's a different one. I think that's a different one. I think that happened in a different version, but this is in the one that had Johnny Depp in it, and because all the bedding footing stuff goes flying up in the air.
I never got over it.
No, that's a scene that has literally stuck with me forever as well. Like him coming up out of the bed and
the knife going through the mattress into her back.
Yeah.
And I didn't know the woman I was talking to was the actress that portrayed that part.
Yeah,
and she said, Ron, that was me. I said, you're kidding. Weren't you frightened? Yeah. Doing that scene had to be frightening. Don't you think it would be frightening doing it?
I mean, it's not. And I tell you why, because you're there through all the lead up to the prosthetics being put on, to the makeup. You're watching these people go from real people to the character. So you know that it's all an act and, you're in on the gag. So like for me, like there was nothing scary about shooting You're Next, even watching the people walk around with the masks on and, it was all just fun and games. And I think there's a really cool behind the scenes clip of us kind of shooting one of the real crazy manic scenes and being absolutely terrified and them yelling cut, and me just going back into song because I would sing on set all the time. I mean, you're working night shoot, so you got to find ways to elevate yourself and keep your energy high. And I was a singer dancer for a long time growing up before I got into film and television. And so singing is really a big part of how I relax on a set. So we'll go from being petrified to like singing some ridiculous.
I love it.
But getting back to things that happened, we saw a movie of a friend of ours that every man in the theater grabbed his crotch because they cut the guy's penis off in the movie.
Oh, God.
And when we saw that, we all went, ah! So we do react to props.
Yeah, that was a terrible.
It was scary and disgusting.
Everyone felt pain watching that, I'm sure. That's not cool.
I didn't care for it.
So in You're Next, I think that one of the best, most unusual kills, nobody actually kills him, but when they stuck the wire outside the door and the guy goes running and chops his head off, because I had never seen that before in a movie really done that way. Now a lot of people are doing it. Back then, nobody had done it. So do you still sing? Like, do you sing? Like, do you put out music, as yourself, as not part of a group?
No, not at all. I just sing in the shower and in the car. Drive everyone in my house crazy. Like when I am singing at Christmas, I'm the first to break out the songs. When I was a kid, I would be every single Sunday, I would make the entire family sit down and I would put on a show for them and I would get dressed up in my mum's old dance costumes and, I would literally do every song from The Sound of Music, every song from a chorus line. I knew the script.
I love a chorus line. I love a chorus line.
Yeah. And I would just make everyone watch and I was just born to entertain people. And such a big part of that is the singing and the dancing. I am glad it bled into film and television. But when I booked Step Up, it was really the best thing that I've ever done, because I had given up dancing. And that was my avenue back into dance, which is just such a huge part of who I am and who I was as a child and my whole upbringing. So to be able to get back into dance, do it in film, and do it in New York City with the best dancers in the whole world, and with John M. Chu, who's now one of the biggest directors in the world.
One of the biggest directors in the world.
Yeah, like it was just I was just too fortunate. Like it's sometimes you wonder, like, how was I that lucky?
And it's one of the biggest dance. It is the biggest dance franchise in like the history of dance films.
Yeah,
it's really cool, and like you're like the lead in it.
Yeah.
I actually just reached out because after I watched it yesterday, I reached out to Rick to see if I can get Rick to come on the show too. So I think it's a lot of fun. I just did it, so we'll see if he responds or not. But I think it's cool. Okay, so here's something I like to ask all the different actors and actresses that come on, and it's a 3-part question.
Okay.
So the first part is bucket list. Male and female actor you haven't had an opportunity to work with that you would like to work with, and they could be living or dead. They don't even have to be alive. And then if you could have ever been in any movie that's ever been made, what movie would you like to be in? Would you have liked to have been in?
Right. Better grab.
Okay, so we'll start with the bucket list thing. This one's just out there, but it is top of the list. I want to go to space and see the world from the perspective of being in the outer atmosphere. I just want to do it to understand more about the universe and how the world works, and to know, how it all runs. Like, it just
that actually can happen. That's actually possible too. That can happen.
Yeah,
I think that's going to be happening soon. Okay,
I agree with
I
you.
just gotta,
you would like that too.
I would like that also, because
Yeah.
you know why? It would be like going home.
That's right.
I really do feel we came from another planet. We do.
100%. I am exactly.
We are the alien.
That's right. And I think that is home. And we're just visiting here and having an experience.
I feel the same as you.
He agrees with you.
Yeah. And, we're not, bodies with a soul. We're souls with a body. Like, I do believe consciousness lives on forever, and you can't kill energy. And I think that is forever where our home is. And I would just love to go out there and see, the world the way it is.
Yeah, me too.
I think Elon Musk is going to make that possible for people, and it's going to happen not that far off. So I think that's something that could happen.
Yeah, but I'm too old to go in a rocket.
Yeah, I really want to do that. That would be phenomenal. Who would I want to work with? If you could just throw anyone in front of me tomorrow. That's a big call. There's so many great people.
You can give me a couple if you want.
I've always really loved Ben Foster.
Yeah.
Who?
Ben Foster.
Who's that? Do I know?
I don't know if you do. I do. He's the X-Men.
That's like, he's obviously one of the best actors, I think, on the planet, but he's kind of underrated. Like, he goes under the radar.
Very underrated.
Yeah, really underrated. And you just sort of watch him and go, this guy is phenomenal. Like, he should be leading everything. He should have his own TV series. He should be, I don't know. I just think he's absolutely phenomenal. So I'll throw him out, like, as top of the list, because I'm
a big superhero movie fan, and so he's in the X-Men. But he also did a movie with Chris Pine for Hell and High Water or something like that. I'm not sure the name of it. But he's a phenomenal actor, and nobody's ever picked him, so that's a good one. No. I like it when people pick new people. All right, give me a female.
And don't say Meryl Streep.
Oh, God, a female. Let's see. Maybe some, like, I wish I watched, like, more, to be honest, because I'm one of those people that, like, sit down and my guilty pleasure is reality TV.
Okay.
So, names don't really come to mind very quickly, because it's not like I can go, oh, I'm in the middle of watching this cool series right now. Like, I'm not. I'm in the middle of watching Love Island. Do you know what I mean?
So you guys get all the American reality shows there?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's cable to me. It's all over the world.
No, that's
How
no, because
about,
we don't get her series over here. We don't get the ones that she's on. We don't get.
no, because America doesn't allow it. That's the mistake.
Mm. Yeah, you haven't
We
had the straight
export, but we don't import. Now we will maybe with Trump because he
I
wants
like
to
that show, The House
import
of
everything.
Villains, or something. I don't know exactly the name of it. It's like The House of Villains or something. I watched. So
Right.
someone recently asked me if I would like to start producing reality TV shows, and I said yes, but I don't watch them. Except for singing shows. Matter of fact, that's how I knew you were singers. I worked for a large independent record label for 25 years, and I would like scour all the shows like The Voice and American Idol and Australian Idol and all that thing, looking for people to bring onto the record label, and that's how I stumbled across the fact that you were a singer back in the day. That's
Yep.
actually how I discovered who you were like in general back in the day.
Wow,
It's
that's
through
awesome.
that. But so I started watching some reality shows just to see, if it's something I could do, and I probably will do it. But then I got funding for a bunch of films, and so then I was just like, yeah, I'm going to keep going with the films. I know what I'm doing there.
Yeah, yeah. Stay in your lane. Know it. Go with
Yeah,
what you.
my lane, but I still will go back to it. But like,
Yeah.
okay, well, like, uh,
Have you ever played in a space movie, Out of Space?
No.
Me neither, and I want to.
Let's do that. Then we might get our opportunity to go out.
Yeah, no, I want to play. I want a space gun. I have to have a space gun,
Mm,
and
I
I
love.
want to shoot.
he loves Flash Gordon.
I'm
First of all,
from when
he
I was a
loves
kid.
Flash Gordon.
You don't know who Flash Gordon was.
Do you know who
Flash
Flash
Gordon.
Gordon is?
Well, you're going to know because they're bringing his character back. He is the invader of the universe. Flash Gordon goes all over and fights Emperor Ming, who wants to destroy planet Earth.
Yeah,
No, it's a
right.
wonderful
It was a
comic
TV
strip.
show when he was a kid, and then
And
in the '80s they redid
It
it.
was a comic strip. Well, now they're doing it again. So producers out there, I would be so happy, even the little part, I don't care, to be in that movie, to be in a Flash Gordon movie.
Let's come
I
up
could-
with a good
I
script,
could-
and I'll
I
get
could-
it financed.
I could die-
and we can make a
I
space
could die
movie.
happy. No, I could die happy. Want to see an old man die happy? Put me in a Flash Gordon movie.
That's got to happen. That and going into space. There you go. You
Put
team
it
up this
out
items
there,
right
there it could happen.
Yeah.
No, because I think that we've done it with zombies, we've done it with vampires, certainly with werewolves, and I think now it's time to go back to space.
Yeah.
Don't
Yeah.
you? Rocket
Yeah.
movies. I love rocket movies. I love them. I love them. I love them. My
Let's go
favorite
home.
movie. Like Rocket to the Moon. That was 1950 when I was a kid, 10 years old. Oh my God. I only wanted to go in the screen and go on that rocket and go with it.
Yeah.
Okay, so
It all started with the
I,
jets.
I
didn't
love
it?
outer space. I love outer space.
we'll find some kind of script to work it out.
That'd
Actually,
be great.
have you ever been in a? Have you done any werewolf? Have you done a werewolf movie? I'm working on a werewolf movie soon, and I'm going to actually pitch you and see if they would like you, because I would love to have you in something. It would totally like excite me.
Oh yeah, that'd be fun.
In a
I have not
professional
done a
way.
werewolf movie. I do have 2 sets of fangs, custom
Oh, there
fangs
you go.
from Horror Show Jack.
There you go. I love it.
And guess what? They cast me as, guess what? A detective.
He's always a detective or a policeman or something.
I'm always a cop or gangster.
He's playing a gay vampire though soon as the lead in a
Yes,
gay vampire.
that
soon.
I'm excited about.
That will be fun.
But no, not a fun gay, not a fun gay, not a faggy gay, not a effeminate man. I'm playing it very manly. My daughter doesn't know I'm a vampire, and then she finds out. So I take her to another enchanted land to teach her what it's like being a vampire. Wonderful script. Otherwise, I wouldn't do it. Different script, an interesting script, and she wrote some very, very, what I like, poetic dialogue, some almost 1945 sounding dialogue from the movies of my day. I have to be careful not to make it corny. So if I don't do it corny, it's going to be wonderful. This film is a challenge because I've never played a vampire, and I'm not playing it like any other vampire ever.
So wait, let's go back to my question though. So a movie then. Let's pick a movie. If you could have ever been in any movie ever made, do you have a favorite movie? Like what movie would you have liked to have been in?
Favorite. I mean, look, I wanted to be in a chorus line. I'm not going to lie.
I love A Chorus Line.
I love it.
I've seen the movie 100 times. I know all the songs.
all of them. And
And Michael Douglas and Michael. I mean, I would love to work with Michael Douglas too.
oh, of course, yeah. Oh, who wouldn't? I'd love to work with Michael Douglas. And you know, I always had the dream of being playing Val, the girl that sings "Tits and Ass."
Yes.
She's iconic. She is my childhood hero, that role. And I would just literally perform that song from the age of about 6 inappropriately with apples stuffed down my bikini top. And, you know, with the bottoms like pulled up like a G-string up my butt, and I would prance around the pool. And I don't know what the neighbors would have thought when you've got this young child walking around singing "Tits and Ass." I mean, I don't even think that's legal these days.
It's probably not.
But that was my whole every single day. Me and my cousin would perform that on repeat. And it was just like my dream to be in that show. It was my absolute dream. So if they remake a chorus line, I want to do it. I want to do it. That the remake of a chorus line is where it's at. And I'd get back into dancing. It's also a singing role. I've never done a role where I get to sing. I've always wanted to do a musical film for that reason, so I can bring into, you know, the mix, the song and dance. Because everyone's always asking me, when are you going to do another dance movie? And it's like, I don't think I can after Step Up 3 was.
Well, aren't you in the movie, the dance movie?
I can't do that.
Aren't you in the dance movie we just saw?
Yeah, that's the star of it.
You're the star of it.
Yeah, but that movie's like from 2010, right? I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Oh, it's not now.
14 years ago.
Oh, I thought it was new.
No.
14 years ago. Are you? Could you do it? I mean, you look like you stayed in shape. I follow you on Instagram, which you guys can follow her on Instagram. She's
no. I have a better idea. Contact Michael Damian and tell him who you are.
We'll contact.
And he does. We'll contact him. Michael Damian is a very famous person, by the way, in case you don't know who he is. He was a soap opera star for years.
Put in a good word.
Yes, we can put in a good word. He just did 2 movies with Lindsay Lohan, but he did this movie called High Strung and High Strung.
And they're like your movie. They're like your movie. There's one subway scene where the choreography is outrageous. You have to see his movie. The way they're doing rap and sort of spinning around as well as ballet. It's a beautiful.
You should actually watch it as a dance lover. You will
watch
actually
that
like
movie.
it. It's called High Strung.
High Strung. You will.
And the guy who's in it is named.
I was a ballerina for 20 years before I got into any hip hop stuff. Like ballet was my thing. My grandmother actually was the youngest ballerina in Australia in 1945 when she was like 14 to be offered a scholarship in England. And they put her on a boat and shipped her off to England at 14, where she was in the ballet company for years. And then it was her kind of talents with dance that bled through the next generation, my mom, and then, you know, I've picked it up. So ballet was just a huge part of my life and of my family's life and career. And I would love to do, you know, a film like a Black Swan type role, like a very ballet.
Great movie. Yeah. All right. So you guys follow Sharni on Instagram, Sharni Vinson. Check out all of her different works. We want to thank you for coming on because we're out of time, but I'm so excited to have you on. And I'm definitely going to pitch you for some stuff and see if we can get you over here. I would love to work with you. But congratulations on a wonderful career, and thanks for being such a great guest. We appreciate it.
Thank you so much for having me. It was an absolute pleasure meeting you guys. And
we'll see you soon when you're in LA. Yeah. All right. Thank you.
See you in the movie.
Bye-bye. All right, everybody. We'll see you guys next week.